Well, let's move on to other news now. In Pakistan's Kashmir rant continues unabated. This time, Pakistan has taken it to the United Kingdom. Well, the country's foreign minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi is all set to use the House of Commons in UK for quote-unquote a Kashmir conference in London. And the Pakistan foreign minister is leading a government effort to hold a seminar on the report of the UK all-party parliamentary group on Kashmir. The panel is headed by the British Member of Parliament Chris Leslie, and the report, which was brought out last November, is critical of the Indian Army's presence in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Qureshi is also expected to join anti-India protest marches in London. India has launched a strong protest with the UK government. New Delhi has asked the British government to stop the conference on Kashmir, which is to be held inside the British Parliament. UK, meanwhile, has said that it will not interfere in the matter. The British High Commission spokesperson in New Delhi said that the UK members of Parliament are independent of government. It is for individual members to decide who they meet and for what purpose. New Delhi is keeping a close watch, however, after Qureshi made an unprecedented phone call to Hurriyat leader Mirwaz Umar Farooq. Qureshi also invited Mirwaz to the conference being held in London. India called out Pakistan's duplicity in a press conference last week.
There are these two faces of the government which are play at the same time. One face talks about peace, good relations with India, and the other face takes action which are completely anti-India.
And Mandy Clark, our bureau chief in London, is now joining us for the very latest on this. So Mandy, well, India has lodged a strong protest with the UK, but other than assurances, it seems that the British government has decided to let this Kashmir conference take place. What is happening at the moment?
Well, it's due to happen in a few hours from now. What the British government is making clear that they don't have control over individual members of Parliament if they want to have these discussions. They're keeping an eye on it, particularly after India had voiced their concerns that it is only to whip up anti-Indian sentiment. Also, if there's allowing any kind of discussions of terror groups or people related to terror groups would certainly be a massive concern for Britain. Britain doesn't want poor relations with India. In fact, it's trying to foster even greater relations, but they don't want to close down the voice of government. They do feel it's important that when it comes to difficult issues that it should be discussed in an open forum, but they don't want it to be too one-sided. So the British government will certainly be keeping an eye on. They don't want any problems on their side between India and the British government. But for now, it is taking place in the Houses of Commons. It starts to start at 2 o'clock local time, and there'll be discussion on the issues of Kashmir. There is other events that he's planning, as you mentioned, the protests. Now, there has been talk of him planning not to attend, that it was just deemed too controversial. So we're waiting for confirmation that he won't be attending those protests.
Right, Mandy, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there. So possibly the Pakistan foreign minister may not be attending those protests. That's the latest that we're picking up from Mandy there.